Hey guys, welcome to Cosmic Tea. I am going to invite in my wonderful, gorgeous co host, Olivia Audrey. La 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 la. Give me 1 second. Guys, and by the way, today we are going to be talking about. Hello, guys. Olivia, coming for you. I just sent you the request. Guys, today we are talking about, and I love this. So welcome, welcome, welcome to Cosmic Tea. Here she is. Hello, my dear
Hello,
co-host.
how are you?
Guys, okay, so Olivia's coming to visit me and I like bumped it up by like a month. I was like, so you arrive? And she's like, no, end of. And I was like, I'm just a little excited. But yeah, like so excited. How are
Oh
you?
my gosh, I'm great. I'm so sweaty and disgusting right now. Um, we've talked about this. I'm in the midst of renovating the farmhouse that I grew up in. So I've literally been just sweating and doing like full body farm CrossFit. So, but I'm so happy to stop and spill some cosmic tea, which is always one of my favorite things to do, period.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I did what we call a workout and then just kind of um the I always tell people because they're like, how does your hair look? Blah blah blah. And I'm like,
That's a whole nother subject, which I'm so jealous about. We've discussed.
no. And so guys, a little key for all my fellow people that love to work out and are just like I have a lot of hair, right? But the key is to wear your hair in a bun on top of your head
Yeah.
and doesn't because I am a sweater and when you and I have naturally curly hair too, or wavy s curls, it that way you don't get the crease. It actually creates volume and the sweat doesn't. This is kind of gross, but it doesn't like cement into your head. So you can go longer without washing your hair and it's like such an easy way. Like I did a video, I think on like TikTok or like my IG reels where I was showing people like how to go from the gym over to like the office or something in like under 5 minutes. And I was like, we got to put the hair on top of the head. And you use a clip instead of a rubber band. Um, that's what I
Brilliant.
found. This is the beginning of our Cosmic Tea. So guys, today in Cosmic Tea, I will move us along. We are talking about such an important topic. And if you guys want to check out any of our previous Cosmic Teas, because we are on today is episode 22,
Oh my
21,
gosh,
22.
really?
Yes. So if you go to Olivia's page, which you definitely need to, or if you go to mine, it's under our series and you can catch up on all of them. And people are loving them. We're so grateful for the audience. We're so grateful for all the feedback. Today, we're going to be talking about the most important relationship that you'll ever have, which is the one with yourself. So we know self-love gets talked about, and it's kind of like a blanket statement that's like the answer to everything, like just love you. But we really want to talk about what that is, how to do that, and our own journey, and the things that have worked for us, and what we really share with our community on the best practices to connect with you, to heal the past, to forgive yourself, to love yourself up. So that's what we're going to be diving into today.
So exciting. And when we decided that, because Melissa and I always converse about what we're going to talk about, and then we just sort of like, okay, yeah, this is it, and we'll come to an agreement. So when we decided on self-love, I really started thinking about the fact that, it's such a great cliche boutique word, and I use it, and it's an industry sort of norm. But most of us, including those of us in the industry, it's not only been a journey for self-love, but we don't really, to really truly love yourself, I think is a difficult thing because there are so many obstacles and there are so many things that can make you feel lesser than. We are often our own worst critic. And of course, there's always so many comparisons that we can draw from. I think I'm in great shape, and then I go to the gym, and inevitably there's going to be another woman that's in better shape. And I'm like, well, shit, and then, I think I'm doing well in this area. And then there's always going to be another example. So what's the key? The key there is, do you use that as an opportunity to have that as something to grow to to guide you, to show you that that's incremental growth, and love yourself through that? Or do you tend to, and I want to hear in the comments, do you tend to use that as an example of what you're not doing? Because the key in there will show you whether you are typically pointed in a direction of self-love or kind of self-failure, don't you think?
Absolutely. I know that one of the things that I always used to go, oh no, I love me. Like I would read about things and it would be like, love yourself. And all the things associated with loving you was like, take time, get your nails done, do a bubble bath, get massages. And I have to be honest that I actually sat there and was like, no, I love me. I eat healthy. I work
Right.
out. I go and get massages. I get my nails done. I do these things for myself. And then I really had the aha that that's not necessarily self-love. That's you keeping up with you. That's you doing things. Yes, it's caring, but it was also from a vanity standpoint. It was also the desire to look a certain way, my health. But it was, and I was like, wait a minute, am I loving myself though when I don't work out? Am I loving myself every moment of every day? Am I loving myself when I'm comparing myself to somebody else? No, I'm not. I'm actually rejecting myself. And so I had to go to a different space of what does self-love really mean? And I started to realize that when we're looking at loving yourself and that relationship to yourself, it's what you always wanted, that unconditional love and acceptance from your counterpart, from your parents, that you wanted teachers to say to you, siblings, the people that would see and find the random things about you that you find quirky and weird. And they're like, I just think it's so lovable. It's what I love about you. And you actually finding those things lovable. And you going in and going, who do I need to be that for myself, instead of looking to somebody else. And that was huge for me. That was a game changer.
It's an absolute game changer. The thing that I would add to that in my self-love journey, which I think, here's the thing, guys, all of us are on a self-love journey. It's called life, right? So if you talk to anybody, and I've been very privileged in my career to work in palliative care, which is end of life supportive care, and talk to a lot of people that are at the end of their physical existence here on this earth. And there's a commonality, is that they've come to peace with whatever. And so nobody ever says, I wish I worked more. I wish I, had gotten my nails done more. I wish I would have taken more bubble baths. None of that. It's about them being at peace with themselves. So when I was able to learn to spend time by myself and enjoy my own company, that was as well a game changer, because we are taught, and it's really enforced, like, oh, you should go do this with your friends. You should go have a significant other, or else this isn't as much of a hallmark memory. No, it is. I find that, and I've traveled the world by myself, and I'm just as happy to do it. I laugh at my own jokes. I talk to myself. I, as far as I know, am delightful. And so I really enjoy this relationship with myself, because I don't need anyone else to complete that. Therefore, when someone else does, such as a girlfriend or a partner, it's just like icing. It's like, oh, I'm having so much fun over here by myself doing this thing. It would be cool if somebody was over here, and I would love to hear what they think about this or what their thoughts are. But I never made it about needing or lack or anything missing, because there's nothing missing. Any of you that are watching this, there is absolutely nothing missing now. The cosmetics industry, the fitness industry, life in general, and mass media will surely tell you there's something missing. There is nothing fucking missing from you. You were whole the day that you were born. And the minute that you recognize that and realize that, and you can enjoy spending time with yourself, get to know yourself. I would recommend that, because that's the conversation so many of us are afraid to have. Why? Because we are afraid that we're not going to like who we are, because we place judgments on ourselves. Trust me, you're going to like who you are. And oftentimes it can be a really fun and exciting process, because guess what? You're not the same person you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 minutes ago, a week ago. So I'm my best friend. I have many, many great, amazing friends, but I am my ultimate best friend, because I know me. And now I bring myself into situations, and when people try to tell me things about myself, I'm like, I know me. I've known me for 38 years. Who knows you better than you? So there's a really great gift in learning to spend time alone.
I love that you said that. And I think especially coming off of COVID, that's the thing that people fear the most. What if I
Yeah.
don't like what I see? And also they fear that time with themselves. And that's why there's so much numbing out, whether turning to alcohol, to food, to social media, to Netflix. It's this, I don't want to get to know those parts of myself because I'm afraid of what I'll find, and I'm afraid that I won't like it. And there's this thing, you know, in society about, instead of celebrating our unique gifts and what makes us us, which we're all different, and that's why we're here, is to share our gifts, share our talents, to shine, to know that we're enough now exactly as we are, right? I love that you said that, because I'm like, if I could give everybody a lobotomy, I would. And I go back and be like, you can be, do, have anything that you want. You are perfect exactly as you are. You are enough now. Go for the gold. Like, don't stop. But it is that, this idea of conforming and losing sight of what makes you you, to try to be what society says you're supposed to be, or your family says. And I do find that in this process of loving you, it's coming back to wholeness. It's coming back to your truth within yourself and celebrating all aspects of yourself. And I love that you said you're your own best friend, and really having faith in that and trusting that. Because I think so often when we aren't connected to ourselves and we aren't in a deep relationship with ourselves, we're so easy to give it's so easy to give our power away. I know that I did that, and I'd be like, oh yeah, and somebody else, whether it's a coach or anybody else, will come in, a parent, a friend, a sibling, and will tell you their opinion of you, and then you're like, yeah, I think that's right. It's like, no, you know what's right, you know what's true for you, you know what's meant for you. So that is such a beautiful point. So Olivia, what are some things that you do, or that you did, to cultivate that relationship with you, for those that are going like, I don't like me, like I don't want to be alone with me, like I want my children around all the time, I'm afraid for, you know, that day when they're gone, or I don't want to stop, like I'm afraid of what I'll find. What did you do to partner with yourself?
Well, I think the first was just like, I grew up and my, you know, siblings were quite a bit older than me. So I spent a lot of time naturally on my own. And I'm just a very naturally, by my personality, a curious individual. So I recognized from a pretty young age that the things I was interested in were not the normal things that people were interested in. So I sort of knew that I had to be on a bit of a solo journey.
Wait, what were some of the things you were interested in?
You want me to share?
Yes.
Like aliens and ancient cultures, which is all really fascinating, right? But it's really not when you're like 10. You're a bit of a dork when you're like 10 years old. But
no,
now
I wanted to be an archaeologist. I was like in my backyard
too.
trying to like dig things up, and my family's like, what are you doing?
No, my mom, when I was bored, used to give me a spoon and send me outside and tell me to dig to China. So I actually tried that.
We have to dive into that one.
That's a whole other, that's something else. But no, so I actually tried that. And so archaeology was not for me, because I was like, man, China takes too freaking long. Like, no.
Like,
and now I
have
no desire to travel to Asia, probably because of that. Like, I was so over it in my mind at 10 years old. But you know, I think it was just, I innately knew that the way to heal me was through me. And so I just knew that I could listen to the opinions of other people, but again, take it for face value. It's not gospel, because I always knew, like, no one knows me. But I did spend a great part of my life sort of looking for validation, which I think we all do. Like, oh, is this good? Is that enough? Is this whatever?
I did a lot of the validation,
and it really sucks.
Approve me, or I would feel good and be like, I look pretty, and then I'd be like, do you think I do? Do you think I do? Do you think I do?
What do you think of this?
And then if nobody would say anything, I was like, I guess I don't. Oh, did we freeze?
Such an empty thing, and it was very short-lived. And I think from that point on, I just understood. Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You
Am I
went out for a
frozen?
little bit, so you were.
Did I?
So yeah, I'm not sure exactly where you left off because it was breaking in and out. What did you just say?
Well, I just said that the
So we were talking
validation
about
was
you
really
digging into
short-lived.
China, and then I was sharing with you about seeking approval, and you were like, I was wondering what's happening. What? Are you there?
Can you hear me? Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, this Mercury retrograde is not, it's terrible. But as long as
It's
you can hear
crazy.
me. So what I was saying is that I just recognized that the whole external validation was so short-lived. Even if I got the immediate validation from the person or the job or the institute or the certification, it was so short-lived. It was like it made me feel great for a little bit. But then I was like, no, I'm back to like that feeling of kind of being hollow. And I recognized that that validation was available to give to myself because I could appreciate things about myself in every single day. And that's just what I made my mission, because I didn't want to live for that drug and that fix, because it is like a drug, and it's really short lived. And then you crash when it leaves.
Well, it's that dependency, right? And so for everybody, when you're looking to cultivate your relationship with you, which is the most important relationship you'll have, any happiness is always found within. If your happiness is contingent on the approval, acceptance, validation from others, from anybody else, if that's what you wait to get in order to have the green light to go ahead with your dreams, in order to have a good day, to feel good about you, that's where the gap lies. And that's where you really want to spend that time. And one of the things that you've heard me say on every Cosmic Tea is that there's power in your pen. And to cultivate a relationship with you, start by journaling in the morning. Start there. Sit in quiet with yourself. Go in walks in nature. Spend time when you are moving. Make movement meditation for you. You
Yeah.
know, but that is, you know, when people say like, I don't know how to meditate, it's like, it's proven. You are an animal by nature. You can train yourself. You're trained to get up and go, just like you can train yourself to get up and sit in that stillness. And that's when you start to go, oh wait, let me find out who I am. And for those of you that are afraid, or you've kind of put things in Pandora's box, that darkness and that fear that you have, when you bring light to that area, that's what dispels the fear. That's what dispels the pain. That's what dispels the darkness. And it's bringing to the light that the forgiveness happens. That's when the softening happens. That's when the coming home to you really happens. So I want to encourage all of you guys to do that, and to give yourself that gift, and to spend time each morning. Like something that I teach is just a morning practice of 5, 5, and 5. 5 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of meditating, 5 minutes of writing. Keep it simple. You don't need to spend like an hour, but you will find the more that you do it, the more you will want to add. And then my clients go, okay, now it's 10, 10, and 10. Now it's 30, 30, and 30, right? And they're getting up earlier and earlier because they enjoy, because that connection allows for alignment and flow and an ease and a co-creation that happens in their day. And that love with themselves is something that you never want. It feels so good. You don't want to not nurture it.
Yeah, absolutely. It becomes the drug, right? So, and then
Absolutely.
there's long lasting fulfillment from it. So for me, you know, everybody always talks about working out, and we've talked about, you know, reframing the narrative. People are always like, oh, I have to work out. I'm like, no, I want to work out. I want to like move my body. I want to honor myself in those ways. And, you know, a lot of people say to me, oh my gosh, you eat so clean, you know, and all of this. And it's because, yeah, I want to honor myself that way. I want to
Yes.
honor what I put into my body. I want to honor
You
my
want to eat foods
strength.
that love you back,
Yeah,
that you love.
exactly. So we have to change the narrative from convenience being self-love. Oh, I'm going to save myself time. Well, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, so you're not really saving yourself anything. Hate to break it to you. And actually, you're going to pay the price for that long-term health-wise. But again, that's another conversation we can have. But so self-love really is effort, right? It's playing the long game. It's understanding that you want to nourish nourish your body with foods that work for you, that do nourish you. You know, you want to put wonderful products on your skin. You want to spend, your free time doing things that really honor you. And it doesn't look like getting your nails done in bubble baths, right? So if you've ever been in a nail salon, nobody in there is especially happy. Everybody's staring at their phones, getting their pedicures or whatever.
Well, that's the other thing. Sitting on your phone when you're getting that done is not connecting to you.
No.
Yeah.
And also getting like the thing jabbed up my toenail, like, is not connecting to me either. But again, like, another conversation. But it's not that. It is actually self-love is this, and I'm going to break it down for you as simply as I can. Self-love is making the long game, hard decisions that will ultimately honor your true self and your long-term goals. It is not going into the McDonald's drive-thru. I don't give a shit what anybody says. It is not, having 5 drinks to numb yourself from the stress of your day. It is not binging on Netflix serial killers documentaries instead of reading that self-help book. It is not the shortcuts. Okay? It's not the shortcuts. It's the long game, because your soul is eternal. Your higher self is eternal. Time really has no place or consequence. So if we take time off the table and we can stop thinking about how this is saving time and that's saving time, and you had all the time in the world to make the delicious meal instead of going through the drive-thru, to go for the run instead of sitting on the couch, how would you behave differently? Because that's how life really is.
Oh my God, I love it. I always say, because I think we're such a culture of excuses, and time is one of them. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. We all do what we really want to do.
You got it.
So if you haven't been placing value on taking care of you and value and joy and loving you and being with you, then you won't take time to do it. If you preface it, and we talk a lot about language and narratives, if your story around it is that it's hard work, is that it's boring, is that I don't have time for that, it's just avoidance. And yet, if you notice that you keep complaining about the same things not changing in your life and that things are hard, then you're still choosing to look through the same broken lens. So in order to repair that lens, right, I always say the only excuses that exist are the ones that we allow, and the only limitations are the ones that we create, and vice versa. So you're either creating your own excuses or creating your own limitations, and that's up to you to choose. Now, when we do get into partnering with yourself, I know that it can be scary and it can be those things, but one exercise that I love, that if you're on board with this, I would encourage you to do it. I have us doing it in my Ultimate Queens group right now, and it's been so cool to see what all of the women are experiencing, and I've done it myself, which is where I get all these things from. But it's every day, write 10 things you love about you, and every night reread them. But every day they need to be new things. So of course you're going to go, oh, well, I'm starting to run out of things, because your immediate would go to physical attributes. And I want you to really recognize that the practice of this is to write down 10 things you love about you as a parent, a man, a woman, a sister, a daughter, a friend, a lover, a wife, this for men and women, but essentially, in all those veins. And then also look at what do I love about me in an emotional landscape, a psychological, a spiritual, and also looking at, the women in my group are like, yeah, but I'm still having a hard time and I'm running out of things. I'm like, but you really want to think, if you had your divine counterpart and you want somebody that's going to love up all aspects of you, that's you doing that too. So look at the things that you find quirky, that you don't love, and find love in them. What would it be like if you had somebody else going, I love that little pooch on your belly. I love your knock knees. I love that you've got, freckles or this or that, or a birthmark here, or your hair's all over the place, right? Like, and you just going, I love that about me. I was going through my list and I'm like, I love that when I'm sad, I listen to Christmas music, and I love that I cackle that my laugh is like a loud
Oh, it's
cackle.
fabulous. I love a good cackle. I want to spend time around girlfriends who could peel the wallpaper off with their laugh, because that means they're so genuine. And one of my best girlfriends has the most aggressive laugh. She legit sort of sounds like she's having a medical episode, but it is fabulous. And I'm always like, oh, I can't wait to see her, because I know it's just going to be so authentic.
It's infectious.
Yeah.
It's like, I swear, like these loud laughs like run in my family, and
Fabulous.
we're like obnoxious. Put like me and like one of my cousins and one of my aunts together. And I mean, it's like, yeah, we would go to Broadway shows in New York and they'd be like, what's going on? Like we were like ruining it for people, but I think they enjoyed it. But that's an exercise that I found, like, do it for 30 days and it will be a game changer, because you'll make yourself smile about who you are.
Yeah. You know, another exercise that we are doing in my soul mechanics workshop is right now, we are listing things that we have lost, 3 things that we have lost in the past year that have made us sad, and 3 things in the past year that we have lost that have freed us. So that's a really interesting thing to consider, is what have you perceived in your narrative as negative, as Melissa said, that now works for you. So for example, I can walk into, I can be on the red carpet. I can be at Trader Joe's with no makeup. Clearly I'm on this with no makeup. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't be, but it's because I really and truly am happy and centered within myself. Any of you listening, you can get there and you will be happy. I'm just as happy at Trader Joe's shopping for groceries with my kids as I am on a red carpet. Because I find value in every moment, and I know, and I honor the different hats.
And she really does.
And I honor the different hats that I wear, and you all wear different hats. So, comparison is a thief of joy, as it said. So if you're looking at, as I said, the girl in the gym, and I'm like, oh my gosh, her butt is perfect, and why can't, like, how many squats do I have to, like, whatever. No, instead of being like, dang girl, like your booty looks great. It's just that reframing. And so that's the gift I really want to encourage you to give to yourself. Stop comparing yourself to other people. There is absolutely no one like you, and that is your superpower. Get to know you, and you're limitless. You're unstoppable. And once you become okay with your perceived flaws or whatever, no one can ever use them against you again. Unstoppable. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Now your life is going to be on fire. Now you're going to be on Cosmic Tea. You're going to be like, thank God I listened to Olivia and Melissa, because I'm kicking ass and taking names in life.
Oh my God. And on that note, I mean, could that be any better? That is where we will end this Cosmic Tea. You're limitless. You are unstoppable. And this is the time. So if this message is resonating with you, then you're meant to hear it. And please, please action what we're talking about today. And share it with those that you know need it most. Thank you all so much for being here. Olivia will let you get back to redoing the farmhouse. I'm so excited. You have to send me pictures. And guys, we're so grateful for you. And we will see you next week right here for Cosmic Tea at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
And we will have a big, I think we can announce. Can we announce next week?
I don't know. Can we?
I don't know. Can we? We're going to talk about if we can share a big secret about Cosmic Tea with you next week, but I think we can.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if we can. But I'm really excited if we can. Yeah.
You're going to want to tune into that.
Big news. Big news. Okay.
We love you all so much, Melissa, Kathryn. I love you. I love all of you.
We love you guys. Thank you so much. DM us any questions, anything you need. We're here for you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.